Katrina's Creations. This is episode 105. If you are a new viewer, thank you so much for stopping by, and please click the red subscription button. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back each week. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. So, lots to share this week and some exciting upcoming news that I'm going to be participating in. So, let's get started. I am wearing a finished object. This is one I have not shown on my Saturday podcasts, but if you have been watching the Knitting 101 class that I've been doing on every Wednesday, this is the finished product. So, yes, it's warm, it's snuggly, and I'm wearing it today because it's rainy and drizzly outside. I just finished filming the very last week. There are 2 weeks left. This coming Wednesday will be the video where I teach how to do the bind off or casting off of the stitches and seaming it. So that means when you sew it all together so that it's an infinity scarf or a cowl. And then the following week, which will be the last week, will be the segment where I show how to block it. So this is my finished object, and let me take it off and I'll show it to you a little bit better up close. I have not wove my ends in because I literally just put it on. So we have our, let me find the beginning. Yeah, here we go. So we have our beginning stitches, which was our garter stitch, which is right here. And then we had stockinette, rib stitch, basket weave, seed or moss stitch, yarn overs, some increases, some more yarn overs right here, and then we did cables. So yes, that is the finished cowl. So if you have been knitting along with me, you've got 2 more weeks of the class. So that is my finished object. Now let's get started with my works in progress. First is my plaidaptation poncho. If you remember last week, I showed you that I had finished one side of it. Now I'm now starting the second half of it. It's knitted in 2 rectangular pieces and then put together. So this is how far I got. Not real far, but I got a little ways. I just got through the beginning section. I'm ready to change needle sizes because you start on a smaller needle because of the garter stitch. It acts almost like a, this is your bottom edge. So then they have you moving up to larger needles from here. So yes, that is my project. Yeah, so that is my progress on this. And this color is, this is Sprightly yarn, which is the same thing I actually knitted this with. It is Sprightly yarn. It's available through Craftsy. It runs, I think, $3.16 a skein. This is called Suede. This color was Suede. Next, I have the Cooper Spur pullover, which is a test knit that I am doing for Janine McCarty, who is the Yarn and You Girl podcast. And I've worked a lot on this week, simply because the test knit, she wants it to be finished by the end of November. And I am just coming up to the shoulder and neck decreases. So I'm finishing up. I'm kind of at the yoke part, the top part of the sweater, and this is the front. So you can see that's where I was last week. You can see my little donut right here. And I'll hold this back some. So there is the bottom portion, and then you can see I kind of changed my color around a little bit and changed so that the variegated sections and the crisscross sections were reversed at that point. Mainly because the, as I explained last week, the variegated, the colored section is a little bit softer, more delicate yarn than the maroon color is, and I didn't want to do, I was afraid of the weight of the sweater stretching it out. But in all honesty, this sweater is very lightweight. I mean, I'm almost halfway through the sweater, and it's like air. It really doesn't weigh a whole lot because of all the little X's that form holes in it. So, yeah, it's going to be kind of a lightweight sweater, but it'll still be warm because I am knitting this in 100% wool. So, yeah, I'm hoping to finish this either today or tomorrow, at least the front. I don't have too much more to go. Like I said, I'm almost up at the yoke section. And as I get closer up to the yoke and around the neck section, I am going to use more of the variegated yarn because it's softer. This is definitely more rustic, aka scratchy, and I don't want that right up against my face. So, and I do have enough left that I think I will probably put more striping closer to my face. So I am having fun with it. It's going along pretty quick. And so that is that project. Like I said, I need to get the back of it made up and have it all sewn together. And this is a seamed pattern. It could have been done in the round and then split at the sleeves and then done the front and the back. But I think she did it for structure's sake. Because it's a light sweater and it's very delicate because there's all that eyelet lace where the crisscrossing is. A lot of times when you put seams and things, it gives it a little bit more structure or strength to the sweater itself. The easiest way to think of it is like if you had a corset and they put those whale bones or stays in it to give it some structure, to give it some strength. Putting seams on a sweater does the same thing. So, not all sweaters are seamed, but this one is, and I think that's probably why, so it makes it kind of hold its shape a little bit better. So that is that project. So next we have the Tega shawl, and I am coming down the home stretch with the Tega shawl. I'm in my last section. I've actually made it bigger than what it calls for because it's said to do 9 sections, but I had the extra yarn, so I'm hoping number-wise it works out for the edging. I'll show you what I mean in just a minute. This is where I was at, and you can see I have crocheted down to here. So let me hold it up so you can see the whole thing. Here it is. And you can see each of these sections, they consider a section from where the single crochet is down to the double crochet. And you could do 6 or 9 sections. I'm actually working on my 12th section at this point because I'm a large person and this would not have been a big shawl otherwise. Even with this, it's not a huge shawl, although when I block it, I will really stretch it out a lot. But it gets a little like it's a type of, not a picot edging. I don't know all the crochet terms, but it has some little fancy loopy things. And then it has a puff stitch, which I have to learn how to do yet. So I will be checking out YouTube to figure out how to do the puff stitch. And I need to see how many stitches it takes to do a puff stitch so I can make sure that my stitch count going across the top here is going to work out with it. Since I modified the length of the shawl, I've got more stitches than what the pattern called for, so I just need to make sure I can kind of adapt that. I think you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, yeah, so I'm coming down the home stretch with it, and I'll show you how much yarn I've got left. This is what I've got. So, this is the Hot Cakes from Plymouth Yarn. It is 75% acrylic, 25% wool, and there's 404 yards in a skein, and I'm probably 2/3 of the way through this skein. So I'm going to finish the section I've got, and then I will hopefully have enough left to do the edging with. So that is my project for my Tega shawl. Next I have my Tega inspired poncho, which is pretty much just all single crochet, but instead of doing the double crochets that the Tega shawl had, I am putting some stripes in it that are in a red, kind of almost blood red, and a navy blue. And last week I was working on this section. I'm doing 2 of these at the same time. So I now have them even. Last week I had just finished this section here. This week I put the red on and then I crocheted all the way down here. So I have 2 of these at this point that are exactly the same size. So there they are. And this, like I said, will be a poncho. It's a little small right now, but I have plenty of yarn, so I think it will be big enough by the time I finish. And each of these stripes are getting wider. Like here they just started with 2 rows. So I do 2 rows of the red, 2 rows of the blue, and then, was it 2 rows? No, 1 row. Okay, so I started out with 1 row of red, 1 row of blue, then I went to 2 rows of red, 2 rows of blue, and now I'm at 3 rows of red, and I'm getting ready to do the 3 rows of blue. So the colored stripes are getting wider as I go down. So that is my Tega inspired poncho. And I didn't bring the other half up since I didn't work on the other half of it this week. But they are both even at this point. And then lastly, I have the Whitehorn shawl, which is an interweave knits pattern from their magazine. And I am just about where I start the color work. So, okay. So here you can see my progress keeper from last week right here. I had just finished the Latvian braid. So I have knitted about 3 inches on it. And so I am just getting ready to get into, I think I've got 1 or 2 more rows, and then I start the color work. The color work, I'm not going to show you real close because it is a paid for pattern, but this is what a color work pattern looks like. It is charted. Sometimes they're written, sometimes they're charted. In this case, it is charted. Which means it's on a graph and you just have to look at it. And so, and color work, you do 1 color coming in on the left side, 1 color coming in on the right side. And the color that shows on the right side is all dependent on the order, whether you're knitting from the left or the right. So I will hopefully, when I get to that, do a short little tutorial on how to knit color work. It really is not that hard, and if you are a continental knitter, it's even easier for you because one hand is continental knitting, which means the yarn is coming in from the left. I normally knit English style where the yarn is coming in from the right. So, yeah, it will be fun. I like doing color work. I haven't done it for a while. I actually made an entire sweater years ago with color work, but haven't done it for a while. So other terms you'll hear with color work, you'll hear stranded. You will also hear Fair Isle. They're all very, very similar. Fair Isle, it's the same technique, but Fair Isle is considered Fair Isle because the motifs are specific to that style. There are certain traditional patterns that go along with it. And stranded just means you were carrying the strands of yarn behind your work where you're changing colors. So yeah, it will be fun to do. And like I said, I will do a tutorial about it when I get to that point. So that will be upcoming. Now we have information on our fall along. If you have been participating, thank you. We have gotten so many entries. It's well over 100 at this point. I think it's over 100. It was over 120 last week. So it has come up a little bit since last week. You have until November 30th to enter. You can enter anything that you have made that is fiber related. You had to have started it September 1st or after and finish it by November 30th. And that enters it. Will enter it for you. You can enter through our Ravelry group, which is KatrinasCreations over on Ravelry. The link is down below. You can also enter by sending me a picture through Facebook. Just make sure on Facebook that you tell me it is for the fall along, because otherwise I don't know when you've started it or finished it. So make sure you put in your notes when you post that it is for the fall along. Or you can send me a picture via email, and my email address is KatrinasCreations@yahoo.com. So that is what's going on, and the winner will be chosen on actually on December 2nd or December 3rd, which is a Monday, because I want to make sure everybody gets to the very last minute that they can get it in for November 30th, and then it'll take me a couple of days to put the video together and to do the editing and put it up. But I will run a separate video that week where it'll be nothing but all of the projects, because it's at least 20 minutes long already. And I've tried to put captions with most of the pictures if I knew what the patterns were, so that when you're watching that video, if there's a pattern you like or something you like, you can, track down the pattern. I have seen some gorgeous things coming out. I've seen this, I hate to name different things because they all are special and they're all pretty unique, but I've seen some really things that have caught my attention. I've went, I really like that. There was a color work shawl that was done that was absolutely gorgeous. There was a color work sweater that is phenomenal. It's beautiful. Somebody else did a poncho that doesn't look like a casual poncho. It looks very dressy and elegant, like you could wear it for a night out. It's really, really pretty. I saw this cute little pumpkin ghost that's, they're like the little ghost garlands that you do with the crochet, but somebody did the head of it with a pumpkin and the body with like pumpkin colored, it looked like candy corn. It was really cute. So I have seen all kinds of things. I saw several shawls that were really, really pretty. One was knit sideways. So yeah, you guys are really submitting some interesting things. I've seen some hats that I really liked, the patterns have gone into my Ravelry library. So I am really enjoying watching all your pictures coming in, and it's giving me, I've been accumulating patterns in my Ravelry library because some of the ones I'm seeing are so pretty, I'm like putting them in there. So I'm excited to show the video to you guys when everybody finishes. So that will be on Monday, the December 3rd. So that's like a month away, but just letting you know ahead of time because it's going to be exciting. And at that time on that video, I will announce the winner. And the winner is going to win West Yorkshire Spinners, a skein of yarn from West Yorkshire Spinners. It's showing up a little darker than what it really is, but it's pretty true to color. It's kind of autumny colors, and I just thought it was nice. And it is 75% wool, 25% nylon, and it's 219 yards or 200 meters. So if you're into socks, you could use this because of the fiber content. Yeah, it is an Aran weight yarn. You could do a hat with it, a cowl with it, fingerless mitts with it. So yes, there it is. That's going to be the prize. Now I have some other exciting news. One of our viewers who also has a podcast, and that is Setta, and the podcast that she has is called Setta's Place. She had sent me an email and said, would I be interested in doing a traveling infinity scarf? And then she told me what it was going to be, and I was like, yes, please. That sounds like it'll be fun. So here's what she's doing. She's gotten together. She has two different cowls that she's sending around, or infinity scarves that she's sending around. She has one that she's sending to a group of viewers that she contacted, but she has another one that she's doing with just podcasters, and there's 12 of us. And what she did is she crocheted her first, she started it, she did 3 rows, and I think it's about this wide, maybe. She did about 3 rows, and then she sent it to the next podcaster, who is Debbie, the Canadian crocheter. I think she pronounces it crocheter. I think she pronounces it Canadian crocheter. But anyway, Debbie is up in Canada, and she will put the next section on of either 3 to 6 rows of her favorite stitch in her favorite color. And we're all using acrylic so that we don't have to worry about allergies or anything like that. So she's sending it up to Debbie, When Debbie finishes, she will contact Setta, and Setta has a little wheel, like Wheel of Fortune wheel with all of our names on it, and she will spin the wheel and determine which podcaster it's going to get sent to next. So then that podcaster will add 3 to 6 rows of their favorite stitch in their favorite color, and then they will be told where to send it next. So it's going to go through all 12 of us before it goes back to Setta, and she'll put the final 3 rows of hers on and seam it together, and then it'll be completed. So it's kind of like a round robin infinity scarf. So it sounded like a lot of fun. So I thought I would tell you the different podcasters that are participating. I will put links to all of their podcasts down below, because once this gets started, it already is started. Actually, Setta just finished hers, and Debbie, it's being sent up to Debbie now up in Canada. But after that, I don't know who it's going to. So I'm going to share all of the links, and that way if you want to follow the traveling scarf around, you can. So here are the people who are participating. First, we have Setta of Setta's Place. Then Debbie, the Canadian crocheter or crocheter. We have Kim, the Crafty Nomad. Mimi from Mimi Loves Yarn. Zelda NRJ3. Karen from Happiness is Homemade. Renee of Renees Crochets Designed. Jane of Scraptastic Yarns Podcast. Dana of Tabitha's Treasures. She is actually one of our viewers as well. Desiree of Dizzystitches Crochet. Summer of Summer's Tips and Stitches. And Terry of Yarnjoy Podcast. So those are the 12 of us that are participating. So stay tuned. I don't know when I will get it, but yeah, I will put the links to all of those podcasts down below in the description box so you can check out their channels, but that way you can also kind of follow the progress of the scarf. So we have that going on. Next we have acquisitions. Charlene, you are a yarn enabler. Yes. Charlene sent me this little comment that said, did you know that Knit Crate is running a special 3-day sale? And here's the coupon code. Did you get the email? And I was like, I didn't get the email. No. But you can guarantee I went running over to Knit Crate to go check it out. So did I buy something? Of course I bought something. Actually, I did not use the coupon code, though. The yarns over in their D-stash section of Knit Crate were 31% off as it was, and then they sent a coupon code. You could get an additional 15% off of that. However, I had stash points, so it didn't cost me anything. Now, I am a Knit Crate subscriber. I should probably explain this a little bit. I am a Knit Crate subscriber. I pay $24.99 a month, and they send me 2 skeins of yarn. I already cheated. I checked to see what I'm getting this month because it's on its way. It hasn't arrived yet. It usually gets here around the 8th or the 9th of the month. It's worsted weight this month, and it comes in a possibility of 4 different colors. Navy blue, and it's all tonal. Navy blue, a rosy purple, a sapphire blue, and a brown, different tones of brown. They all look absolutely gorgeous, and they have stellina in them, which means they got little sparkles. But anyway, every month that you buy your Knit Crate, like I said, it's $24.99 a month, and you get a knit pattern, a crochet pattern, and they started throwing in a sock pattern as well. You also get coupon codes for other patterns that designer might have. So there's usually discounts that way, but you also get stash points. And when you build up enough stash points, you can go over to their shopping area of Knit Crate. And yes, if you buy yarn, like say you get yarn and you want more of what you got in your Knit Crate box, you can actually buy more over in their shopping area. But you can also accumulate these stash points, and then you can cash the stash points in for products. So that's what I did. So I did not use the coupon code, even though it was great, but all I ended up doing was paying for the shipping for $5. So this is what I bought. This is what I had last month. Mine hasn't come in yet, but I'll show it to you. This was what I got last month in my sock crate. The sock crate is not one I pay for. Because I'm a podcaster, they actually reached out to me and asked if they could send me a box every month for me to review. I said, yes, please. So along with the one that I pay for each month, they send me one for free. And this is what was in last month's box, as well as a set of Chalgu knitting needles. But anyway, this is Artistic You yarn. And this was the celery stalk colorway. And I really, really liked it. It's extremely soft. It's 75% merino superwash, 25% nylon. And it is a sock weight. There is 450 yards in a 3.5 ounce, 100 gram skein. So here it is. So I ordered a second one of these. So all I paid was the shipping fee, and that was it. So like I said, it hasn't come yet. But I really liked this green because it went along with with some of the yarn that I got on my vacation. So I thought a second skein to add to it would make it so that I could maybe put together a sweater's quantity when I combined the second two skeins of this and some of the yarn that I bought on vacation. So yes, it's so snuggly and soft. So yes, I don't know why I didn't get that email. But thank you, Charlene, for letting me know. But I told her, I said, you are a total yarn enabler. I had to run over and go shopping. But I was good. It didn't cost me anything other than the shipping. So, anyway. Now I thought I would tell you about some upcoming videos that I have. I'm finishing up with the Knitting 101. It has 2 more weeks to go. But after that, I had some viewers who have requested some specific videos, and so we're going to be doing those. One of those videos was requested by Charlene, the Yarn Enabler. She asked if I could do a video on how to fix knitting mistakes. And I said yes, because I think that's a good idea, because, we all make them. So we need to know how to fix them without having to rip everything out. And if we do have to rip everything off or rip back several rows, how do we put them back on the needles again? Or if you drop a stitch, how do you pick it back up? So there is going to be a video on how to fix mistakes. Tabitha's Treasures, that is Dana, she had asked, could we do a pre-knitting 101? In other words, a section on a beginner for the beginners type of knitting. Just interesting things like how do you hold the needles? How do you coordinate? Because if you're a crocheter, you're only holding one thing in your hand and the yarn in the other. Where when you're knitting, you're holding a needle in each hand and yarn. And so how do you coordinate all that together? So I thought that was a good one. So we will go into that. And then Christy had asked if I could do a segment on if you're changing yarns within a project, how do you join them so that you have a smooth join? How do you change color of yarns? And how do you weave in ends? So we are going to do a segment on that as well. And then Magi Michelle, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. She asked if I could do something about yarn weights, which I have talked about yarn weights before. But which projects work best for which yarn weights and how much yarn do you need for different projects? A lot of that's going to vary from pattern to pattern, but there is at least an average or a reasonable guess. So I'm going to do a segment on that as well. Last but not least, we have our Come and Get It section. We have Annie's Craft Shop is running a clearance, in their clearance section, they are running a sale on all of their King Cole brand yarns. So they have their Cherish DK, which is a variegated yarn, and they are selling that for $3.99. And they also have their King Cole Finesse Cotton Silk yarn for $4.49 per skein. So again, check out their clearance section. Craftsy, in their yarn, again, most of these are in the clearance section because you know me, I like a bargain. They have Bernat's Softy Chunky yarn for $1.97 a skein. Patton's Astra, which is a sock yarn, for $2. And they have Cascade 220 Sport Weight yarn and that is for $2.61. Now over in Hobium, Hobium this week, and I did post it over on Facebook because I didn't find out about it till it was happening. They ran a 3-day flat rate shipping, which was like, at least for the US, normally they're shipping, if you buy something under $20, it's usually $20 shipping because it's 2-day delivery. It was only $10. I was good though. I did not buy. I bought two Hobium shipments in the last month, so I decided, even though the temptation was there, I refrained. It was hard, but I did it. I did not buy something this month. But anyway, in their clearance section, they are running 5 skeins of yarn. I think their cheapest one's 5 skeins of yarn for $6.80 or 80 cents. Yeah, $6.80, and you get 5 skeins of yarn. So, like I said, they do have, if you're shipping like to the US, it is $20 shipping. So the more you buy, the cheaper your shipping rate goes. But the shipping is very fast. Once they process it, you get it in 2 days. So, and it is coming from Turkey. So it's very quick. I've been very happy with it. They do sell their yarns, even not in the clearance section. You can buy 1 skein at a time, or you can buy them in groups of like 5 or 10. And the more yarn you buy, the cheaper the price goes. But check out their clearance section. Knit Crate offers 20% off to your first box. So if you sign up for a new subscription and you use the link down below, make sure you put the coupon code KCreations20 in it, and you would get 20% off of your first box. Not every box after that, but your very first box you would get 20% off of, which is a good deal, just so you can kind of test it out and see if it's something you like. So, yeah. And 20% off, let's see, if you buy the box that I get, that would be like $5 off. So you pay $20 and you get your 2 skeins of yarn and 3 patterns. Can't beat that. Now, on to Knit Picks. Knit Picks, their yarn of the month, they are having 20% off. Each month they choose one yarn brand to focus on, and they offer 20% off of that yarn brand. This month's yarn brand is Comfy. They're Comfy yarns. And the Comfy brand is 75% Pima cotton, which is one of the softest cottons you can get, and a 25% acrylic. So if you want to make cotton socks, you could do that. I actually have a shawl that I made out of Pima cotton. It is so comfortable and so soft. So anyway, that's 20% off of Knit Picks. And then Lion Brand, in their clearance section, they are offering a pack of 3 mandala yarns, you know, the skeins, the cakes, for $10. Now, I have one to show you here. This is a mandala. This is how big they are. Let me see how many skeins are, how many. Okay, it is 590 yards or 540 meters. So that's a lot of yarn here. And they send 3 of these for $10. Yeah, pretty good deal. So that is in their clearance section. They also are having a sale in the clearance section on their DIY yarn. It is starting at 3 skeins for $2. That's like less than $1 a skein. I'm not sure what kind of yarn it is. I really forgot to look that close. But yeah, 3 skeins for $2. Can't go too far wrong. So that's over on Lion Brand, and the links to all of those are down below. So check those out. That is our sales, and that's the episode for this week. And please tune in on Wednesday once again for our Knitting 101. And next week there should be a Knit Crate video. I doubt it's going to come in before then. If it does, I will post the Knit Crate video as well, but I really think it'll probably be next week sometime. So that is it for this week. Thanks again for watching. If you've enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you all on Wednesday. Bye, everybody.